Everyone watching this video should all have one game or piece of media that they themselves consider to be overlooked. One thing they experienced at a certain time in their life that doesn't get talked about as much as it should. Even I have games I consider to be overlooked by general audiences, like Freedom Planet, Lethal League, and Get-A-Roo Man. God fucking... This stupid fucking bee! Fuck this game! Holy shit!
What's up with that? You like jazz?
But you know another game people forget to give justice? This fucker right here! Warning! Warning! Hype and semen levels have reached critical mass. This fucking game. You want to talk about something that really fondles my scrot? It's this one. Call of Juarez Gunslinger, which I'll shorten to just Gunslinger because I'm not a fucking masochist, is an arcade first-person shooter that takes place in the Wild West. One thing that people may not know about me is that I fucking love the Wild West in any media, and I love arcadey FPS games, so a mixture of the two is just pure fucking bliss. You play as the in-game famous outlaw Silas Greaves, telling his life story in a bar to a group of locals.
Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple. Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
And real quick, Silas Greaves is one of the coolest and most charismatic outlaws I have ever seen in a piece of media, period. Well, except for this guy.
You've got 5 seconds to tell me where the real Equestrian Daily headquarters is.
Now, I could talk about all the cool shit this game does with its gameplay, like allowing you to dual-wield pistols, the rad as fuck bullet time, the tough but mostly fair gameplay, or the coolest fucking minigame in anything I've ever played, where you have to win in a duel against actual real outlaws, which makes you feel like a fucking straight badass. It's high noon somewhere, I got a snake in my boot, this town ain't big enough for the two. What the fuck am I doing? This is terrible. This isn't even funny. However, what I really am here to talk about is the insanely unique and downright impressive story in this game. I'm not kidding when I say that this small cult classic has some of the most interesting storytelling techniques I've ever seen in a game. The reason for that is how the actual story is being laid out to the player.
Now wait a second. How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
Like I said earlier, the game is being told as a story to a group of people at a bar. These people are Ben the bartender, Jack the skeptic, Steve the old ass, Dwight the excited kid, and Molly the big titted fuck.
A real set of badonkers, packing some Doban hunkeros.
The entire game is being narrated by the charismatic Silas Greaves. This means that a lot of genuinely well done and funny moments come from that simple fact. You have instances of characters cutting off Silas.
Riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You have characters telling their sides of the story.
One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one.
You have people falling asleep in the middle of the story.
So I just started walking, and pretty soon, Steve!
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
You have Silas getting up to take a piss.
Excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake.
And most importantly, you have characters thinking Silas is full of bullshit.
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
He's an asshole.
With this style of storytelling, the greatest accomplishment this game has is its way of portraying an unreliable narrator. If you've never heard this term before, it basically means that the person telling the story has the potential to stretch the truth or straight up lie about what happened, whether it be intentional or not. This happens all throughout the story of the game. You have Silas accidentally forgetting what happened during a specific moment.
Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on, were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches?
And you have moments where he straight up lies about what actually happened in the story, causing the environment and gameplay to change.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
opinions.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
Look at this fucking shit. That's fucking fantastic, frankly. One of my favorite parts is where you come to this crossroad on a rickety old structure. Silas says that he thought about taking the mineshaft route, and it takes you through this elaborate setup in this tight-spaced area with a shit ton of dynamite. Then all of a sudden, one of them gets shot, and you have to run out of there freaking the fuck out before you get caught in the explosion. And then Silas just fucking dies? Alright, okay. It's then revealed to the player that it was actually Silas explaining about why he didn't take that path in real life, and instead took a completely unrelated path that seemed to appear out of nowhere. This is what I mean when I say this game is fucking genius. Never in my life have I played a story in a game that is able to handle this concept with as much style and grace as this one does. The unreliable narrator route is such a unique idea to include in a game, and to see this in a AA game that is able to pull it off so fucking well is just astounding. Later on in the game, you start to see one of the side characters, Jack, start to go off on Silas about how he's just some random drunk that has been telling fake stories the entire time.
I've been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. That chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
He's an asshole!
Around when this starts to happen, though, you begin to see Silas acting funny. He begins to go into detail about the amount of men he's killed, and you start to hear the remorse in his voice.
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think about death?
Mr. Greaves, are you all right?
Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me?
Silas's main goal throughout his entire life was to get revenge on the 3 men that killed his brothers years ago. He talks about how he had to kill so many people to get to that point, and had become a worse man than any of those men that had killed his brothers.
For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had.
However, his fire for revenge was so strong that he'd stop at nothing to kill those men. The farther into the story we get, the more we start to question whether Silas is making shit up or not. It gets into crazy, unexplained phenomenons, many conveniences for Silas, and even him fighting the ghosts of his past. Right when this happens, though, that's when the player realizes the true twist of the game. Silas is only there to kill Ben the bartender, as he was the 3rd man that had killed his brothers all those years ago. This is such a fun detail too, especially when replaying the game, as you can see how abrasive Silas is throughout the game towards Ben.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you.
This leads to an interesting ending where you reveal that you are there to kill Ben. Ben begins to plead for his life and claims that he is a changed man, when you are suddenly given the choice where you can either kill Ben once and for all, or let him go. Now these endings are interesting, to say the least. That's the fucking best way to put it, I guess. Letting Ben go is considered the good ending, as it shows that Silas has learned from all the senseless killing and that revenge isn't sweet.
I won't have it said I left you with nothing, Bob.
I mean, it's nice and uplifting, but to be honest, it's kind of a fucking boring ending, all things considered. From a storytelling perspective, not getting your revenge isn't as impactful as getting your revenge and learning that it's not worth it. So here's what you gotta do. You take that pussy shit baby ending and you move that shit way over to the side, because the good shit is in the bad ending. If you were to go and kill Ben, you get a hype as fuck duel against Ben in the bar, and it shows the harsh reality of revenge not being satisfying. Everyone you meet throughout the game now fucking hates your guts, and you have this sort of guilt for not letting Ben go and letting your own anger get the best of you. This right here is how you make revenge inherently unsatisfying in a game. You make it so the player feels bad about their actions, not that they're having a bad time themselves. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again, intentionally making the player unhappy and frustrated at your game is not good game design. I'm looking squarely at you, No More Heroes 2, with your shitty Jasper Bet Jr. fight. Don't fuck up your gameplay and make it not fun for the sole purpose of proving a point. That sucks Mondo dick, you fucking idiots. Suda 51, more like Suda piece of shit. Fucking got him. Anyways, that's Gunslinger. It's one of the most inventive AA games that I have played in a while. To be honest, I could have made a whole video going over all the cool shit that the gameplay does and how fun the combat is in general. But I decided to gloss over that shit because of how unique this game's story and presentation is. Not enough games do this where they incorporate an unreliable narrator in a game, and not enough games especially handle blending gameplay and story this fantastically. It's a real shame that not enough people know about this game, and I hope I could shed some light on a true underrated gem. All I'm saying is, you want to be a good-ass game? Add an unreliable narrator, because that shit is hype. Do it, cowards. Wait, shit, hold the fuck up, don't leave the video yet, hold on, wait a second. You probably have noticed that my profile picture is different. Well, that's because I got the talented as fuck Boss Coffee Cake to draw me a picture of myself for the thumbnail. I commissioned her for only like $10 fucking, and I think you can see I got my money's worth. So everyone here, go support her on Twitter and buy some fucking commissions from her. She does profile pictures for like only $10. Do it, boys. Alright, now you can leave, I'm done.